In the meantime, 11 states are taking steps to commerce ranching as a way to address the age-long violent clashes between herders and farmers, which have claimed several lives. The states ready to commerce ranching are Lagos, Plateau, Ondo, Zamfara, Bauchi, Delta, Niger, Kano, Jigawa, Nasarawa, and Anambra states. The development comes against the surge in killings in Benue and Plateau communities linked to armed herders. Last week, over 200 persons were murdered in Yelewata, Benue State by armed assailants. President Bola Tinubu attributed the incident to land grabbing and vowed to go after the perpetrators. And now to discuss this, we're joined by President Plateau Peace Practitioner Network, PPPN, Nanmak Bali. Nanmak, it's good to have you join us on the show, and a very good evening to you. Let's just get started. Do you believe the ranching plan addresses the underlying structural violence and historical grievances between pastoralists and host communities?
Okay, thank you. Thank you for having me this evening. Nice being here today, and lovely sharing my thoughts. If you look at it, you discover that this has been happening over and over again. So it's nice that we keep trying some things to see how we can get all of these crisis issues being settled. Yes, I will say yes, but for every state, we have our peculiarity. Although let's not forget that all of this is happening not just in Nigeria, and it's more of like a global thing, and we're also having the impact of it here. So yes, ranching could be part of it, but as we try the ranching, we'll try it with caution, and not just trying it like an experiment, but I think it would be nice that we get some of the stakeholders' engagement. That means more of those community people, the natives, who sit down, and the government sit down with these people, make them understand the importance of this ranching. But yes, it could be. Let's try it and see, but let's not forget the peculiarity of every state, particularly the issue of the native of this community. Some other persons will really not want this ranching. Reason is this: some others will feel like possibly their lands are going to be taken and the rest. But yes, let's try and see if this will work.
And how can trust be built between communities and the government in areas where the ranching plan is viewed with suspicion or resistance, like you noted?
Beautiful. So now that is why we talk of more of this community engagement. There are more stakeholders in this community. There are more people of the natives of that community. So what the government will need to do is to engage more with these people, engage more with the natives, engage more with the herders. The most difficult part of it is not just the herder thing, but where you get people that come in, you hear assailants coming, and they just disappear into thin air, and we keep calling people unidentified, and the rest. That's where the challenge comes. But when you have herders that are there, and you can see them, and they can come on a round table to sit down to agree on some one or two thoughts, at least we'll go somewhere. But when people, you don't see them, and you keep hearing people came in, caused destructions, and they just flee into thin air, that's the most difficult part of it. But when you have genuinely that persons are there that you can talk with, that they can come out on a round table, then this could be a very positive way to go. So engagement, and more engagement with herders and the natives of these states. Well, as I said, don't forget we have peculiarity, but more engagement will do. And sincerity, I think and also sincerity of purpose. Once there's sincerity of purpose, we'll get there.
I mean, besides engagement and sincerity of purpose, there's also the matter of coordination frameworks. So what type should exist among the 11 states to ensure uniform standards, conflict resolution mechanisms, and most importantly, data sharing under this ranching initiative, should it work?
Oh, fine. So that's why, for me, my own opinion personally, we cannot have a uniform approach. Reason is this: you cannot take the template of Lagos and bring to want to use in Kaduna. You cannot bring the template of Lagos and say you want to use in Nasarawa. You cannot take the template of Plateau and want to use in Benue State. Those are quite, the peculiarity differs very, very. So what is there is, let's try what can work in one community. If it doesn't work here, let's see if another will work in another community. So then that means the architecture of all of this, as I said, let it be with a lot of sincerity. And as the federal government comes in to implement all of this, anything that doesn't work can get to be changed. And that's why I keep insisting on the issue of engagement. You can go to a community, every community has our own way of settling crisis. Every community have our own natives in that community. Every community also have herders that come in to graze in those communities. In fact, from time immemorial, people have been living together. People have been having disagreements. People have been solving conflict amongst themselves. So if you come into this community, just like I keep saying, let's engage some more. But you cannot take a particular template from another state and want to use in another state. It will be a little bit challenging because there are peculiarities about these states and the natives of that state and even the herders in that community.
Right. I mean, Nanmak, I want to say thank you so much for taking out the time to join us today to give us a bit of insight. But we wait to see what the 11 states ranching plan would look like, and the news we'll be watching as is a developing story. And hopefully this will be a lasting solution to the armed herders crisis we're seeing in the Middle Belt. Once again, thank you.